Well, hello. It's another Friday, so it's Fun Day Friday, and it's time to work again on Sauce.e. And here with me is the one and only Alex. How are you
Aw,
today?
thank you. I'm doing good. No thanks to the horrible heat outside.
Oh yeah.
But I am still kicking, despite that.
Oh yeah, summer is being brutal. You know, it makes me a little bit afraid. It's because since I'm moving back to Spain in, well, this month, or I'm hoping this month or next month. The heat there, it's really nightmarish.
Ugh.
So yeah. I find it a bit scary, honestly.
Yeah. Thankfully, we've got air conditioning. If we didn't have it, I don't know. Because the room I'm in is on the top floor, and it's the farthest away from everything else. It's at the very end of the hall, so it is hotter in this room by far than like anywhere else. And since it's gone up again. It's 90 now, 90 Fahrenheit. Let me calculate that into Celsius for the Celsius.
That should be 30, 32.
Let's see. Yep, 32.2 repeating in Celsius. It's funny because if it were 32 here, it'd be cold enough for water to turn into ice.
Yeah, the wonders of the scales, right?
Right?
Okay, I think my headphones are fully charged now, and I can just disconnect. Oh, that's better. Okay, so, when we left last week, we were doing some hot check on this. I was checking. You were giving me some feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go and let's do a quick round overall. You tell me the things that need to be fixed. So give me just 1 second. I'm gonna take some pictures, put them there, so it's easier for you to see them. Okay. Views, and then I'll move around if you need more views or details or anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna open up my reference sheet and hold them up side by side and have a look-see.
Oh yes. Oh,
Alright,
by the way, I'm having a nice boba tea. It's called Peach on the Beach.
Ooh. Unfortunately, we don't have anywhere near me that has boba tea where I would get boba tea, but I have a pink lemonade, so.
Ooh.
Alright, let's see. I think that the only things that still needed to be tweaked are her boots.
Sure thing.
They need to be glue-free.
Okay.
And that was it.
I can do that. Give me a second because for some reason, your volume is so low.
Oh, I might have turned myself down by accident. Or maybe I moved my microphone in a bad place. If I move it over here, it should be better. And, well, hold on a minute. I've somehow jammed the wire between the table and the bookcase. One sec. How did I do this?
I don't know. It's magic.
How have I accomplished this? Oh, it's because I moved the desk. That's why.
Oh, I love this ASMR, or ASMR, or ASMR, or whatever you call it.
This is I used to know what it meant, like the words. I don't remember.
Yeah, I did too, but it's one of those things that you just don't care and just forget.
It's like everybody knows what that means when you say it, so.
Yeah, it means a girl whispering to a dude that it's basically working his joystick.
Oh my god.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, you're not. I do have to say that when I started listening to ASMR,
I should be.
It was. I wish you were. It unfortunately, when I started listening to ASMR for stress relief, it took a while to find one that wasn't kind of weird. And like they're not explicitly sexual content, but you know when you're like, this is something for somebody.
Yeah.
Like when you read a thing, it's like, oh, POV, like I don't know, like you go to a private school, the nun is mad at you, you're being disciplined, and I'm like, this is something for someone.
Oh yeah, you are being audited by the IRS because you have been a bad boy evading taxes.
Yeah. I ended up thankfully finding a channel called Ting Tang ASMR. That's the name she goes by. She's Chinese. And thankfully her stuff is not like that. It's things like stuff that's just like collections of different kinds of noises. If she does scenario things, it's stuff like a fashion designer is showing you different outfits you could wear or whatever. So thankfully, I looked at that and I'm like, oh, thank God, there's no like weird, like you have to be prepped for surgery and I'm your nurse, and like, oh no.
Well, you know that someone will get off from that.
I know. There will be somebody who will regardless, but at least I know that wasn't her intent.
And I'm sure you wish you didn't know, right?
Yeah, I wish I didn't know that. I'm sitting there like, oh, there is somebody here. Actually, it was kind of neat that she did one ASMR video that was it was a Chinese lesson on how to like say basic numbers and words. So that was kind of cool.
By the way, if there's anyone from China, we love you. Or actually any place, we love you.
Yeah. People aren't responsible for the actions of the place that they're from unless they are directly involved in them, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's the thing that democratic countries will say, no, it's the fault of the people because, it's a government by the people for the people. It's like, yeah.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, that's so convenient to say, right? That's so convenient to say. That
I mean, as we discussed last week, and hopefully we'll not go into crazy discussion again, as was discussed here in the United States, just because the majority of people do or do not want a thing does not necessarily mean the government is going to listen to them. Hence why there's always a lot of people out in the street with signs that say, hey, stop it. But
and the corporations say, oh, what'd you say, go faster? Yes, we'll go faster.
Yep. So is the microphone better where it is now?
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
Excellent. Let me know if the fan is too much, because now it's blowing past the microphone.
Ooh.
And I don't know if that means it's going to make weird noises or not.
Well, honestly, I cannot hear anything weird from your side.
The noise gate is working. Awesome.
It is working.
Woo.
Actually, Discord filter, it's amazing.
Right? It's
so
shockingly good.
I'm afraid if anyone is hearing me through Twitch, my mic must be picking all the noise from my own fan.
Yeah, I wish that I don't think that OBS or whatever you're using.
There are filters. There are filters. It's just plugins that you have to install and enable.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
Look into that.
Takes 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should still look into that though.
Oh, this thing is so sweet. It has to be so bad for my health.
There's a lot of sugar in a boba tea.
Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't drink it all the time.
Well, I haven't had one of these in 3 years.
Then you're fine.
So?
It's like with anything with that much sugar. You just don't want to drink it on a daily basis, because then you'll be sitting there going, I feel kind of sick. Oh, I feel a little queasy.
Well, the worst part is when you feel sick when you don't take it.
Yeah, that's when you made a mistake.
That's the bad part, It's like, oh, like, I feel bad.
You're like, uh-oh, maybe drinking all that coffee all the time really was a bad idea.
But if I drink 5 Red Bulls in a row, I feel better.
Oh my god, if you drink that many Red Bulls, I think you'd die. I think your heart would explode. Or you'd become the Flash.
I think you will vibrate through the floor and just go down to the core of the earth.
Yeah.
You just phase through the planet.
Pop up on the other side and be like, huh. Well, that was interesting. And then you sleep for like a month.
Oh, great.
Become the world's newest cryptid. And they're like, what the fuck was this?
How was man-made horrors beyond my comprehension?
Oh god, speaking of man-made horrors beyond comprehension, I started watching... I was like looking for like a stupid anime to watch while I worked. And I found one that I knew had existed, but I had not watched before. It's called Ikitosen. Here in the United States, it was called Battle Vixens.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, so I knew that it was, I knew it was an ecchi. It's not super explicit, but it's definitely an ecchi.
It stays on the border.
I did not realize how incredibly stupid it is, though. It's to the point that it's actually really funny. Hello, Kingreed.
Hey, Kingreed.
It, like, the show goes out of its way to try and show you underpants shots. But it does it in the most bizarre way. Is like, that's the only way I can explain it, is that it's really weird. Like, you know how in anime there's that whole, like, reaction thing, like something happens and it just shows you a bunch of people's faces so you can see how they reacted to the thing that happened?
Yeah.
So it does that at one point, but when it does, like, you know, flashes of people's faces and then randomly a shot of the main character's ass. And then her face, and then everyone else's face. And I was watching it with a friend, and she just shouted, "I'm sorry, what was that?" And I'm like, I think her butt got a reaction shot. She's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know, but I actually love it.
But it was funny. Like I said, it's not even sexy. It's just like, hey, look, it's a butt. And I'm like, that is indeed a butt. Good for it. But like, if you try to follow the plot, I call it a plot very loosely, but if you try to follow the plot, good luck. The premise follows the legend of the Three Kingdoms, which is a Chinese legend. But the show presents it to you like you must already know that legend. Like if you're watching this, you definitely know it, even though the entire point of the show is just to watch people fight, which mostly happens off screen, so I mean, whatever.
Well, some of the training happens on screen, right? I have watched only a few episodes, but...
Sometimes? King Reed says read the manga. Yeah. Probably. It's probably more explicit and probably makes more sense. But it'll be like somebody will walk up to somebody and they'll go, but the name of that person, it's so and so. Didn't you know? They were the hero of this in this time of this dynasty, and they were also known as random title of whatever. The technique they used, it's called big long string of words that I don't fucking remember. And you're just sitting there watching it going, what?
It's like, dude, I just came here.
What?
I just came here to look at the boobs. You know? I didn't know I had to have a master's degree to watch this.
Yeah, it sure demands a lot of knowledge for you from a thing that's not even like I said, it's like not even like really sexy or anything. It's just like, hey, look, this is a butt. And I'm like, it is a butt. Is that it? And it's like, yes. And I'm like, okay, good for you. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's just going to be like martial arts with like, I don't know, like sexy shots or something. No. It's most fights start on screen, have very limited fighting animation, and end off camera.
Okay, I need your attention for a second.
Oh yes, sorry. That's more important than the bizarreness that is this show.
No, don't worry.
Alright, let's see.
Okay, so this is the boot.
Alright.
So you want me to inflate just the lower part or everything?
Yeah, let's see. The whole thing is sort of bean shaped. Everything but the cuffs part can probably be a bit poofier. Although it'll probably need to be tapered back down into the little toes of the shoes.
I can do that. Okay, so
I think in profile it's fine, so maybe it's just the front that needs to be. Yeah, in profile it looks right.
side to side. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to give it some more there.
Oh, that's actually not bad. Can I see it zoomed out compared to the rest of her?
Give me a second. I can keep the original.
Oh, so I can see like that. I see.
And you can compare. From left is the original, and right it's the modification.
Okay. Yeah, the right definitely looks better.
Okay, how's that?
Yeah, that looks a lot better.
And from the side, it got puffier also.
Yeah, it got puffier from the side, but it still looks good. So yes, I will say that that is definitely good.
Okay, and now let's refine it. So let's see. I'm gonna
squeeze the little pointies back into the shoe.
Yep. That.
There we go.
Smooth a bit, so it's like that, and this needs to be like that a bit. Okay, this needs to go up. Okay, I'm gonna. Something tells me I need to pull this
Sommar är på Elgiganten såklart. Hos oss hittar du sommarens hetaste deals. Välkommen till Elgiganten.
Just a little. Yeah, that looks good. That's the right shape.
Okay, and
excellent.
The inside, you want it to be straight like this? You want it to curve?
Let's see. I drew it being curved in just a little bit.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, so it's just a slight curve. There we go. Perfect.
Nice.
Excellent. So now she looks like she's got big old chunky shoes.
Yeah, she does. But yeah, this is why I love having the artist with me. Because this kind of tweaking, it's a thing that you necessarily don't get from the reference, or that you think when you are creating a reference. It's like, oh, this looks better overall if you move this here or pull this there.
Or when they're like, oh, they say something like, oh, make that part larger or that part smaller, and you do it, and they're like, no, more, or no, not that big.
It's like,
and you're like, oh shit, okay.
No, I like having you also on the stream because you are one of the most easygoing persons, or easiest.
Oh, thank you.
Let's pull this.
Thank you very much. Oh gosh. One last comment about the show that I thought was particularly funny, because I'm like 8 episodes in. It's like watching a truck crash, but nobody's getting hurt, so it's fine. So you just sit there and go, "Wow, look at it go!" For a show that doesn't like showing any of the fighting, if it can help it, or at least doesn't want to animate it, it has a fighting tournament in it. There's a fighting tournament arc that lasts for like 4 episodes and then ends unceremoniously. And I'm like, wow, that was brief and weird, but okay.
Yeah, wasn't like one of the characters training her ass really hard?
Yep. Yeah, there's a weird inconsistency with oh god, Sonsaku, I think is what they call her. That's not her actual name, but that's what they call her, because that's like her reincarnated ancient Chinese hero name. She's like really talented, but then she's also not. She has like no skill except that she like catches on really quick when taught something. But then for some reason she doesn't follow it. I mean, she's She's a lot like Goku in that regard, except that Goku remembers how to fight because he likes it. I mean, she does too, but she doesn't like remember any of it. And she herself is constantly reminding you that she's dumb as a fucking post. She's like, you can't say those giant words to me. Remember, I'm stupid. And I'm like, okay. Or like some guy does, there's like some other dude who says or does something. She goes, wow, he's actually stupider than me. Huh. And I'm like, okay. Oh my god.
Like, where I come from, that's a big compliment.
Yeah, but she doesn't like it if you call her stupid. If somebody calls her stupid, she gets really mad. She's like, hey, you just called me stupid. The one who says stupid first is the one who's really stupid. Nobody's ever called me stupid before. And I'm like, so many people have called you stupid before this moment, though. To your face, even.
Well, there's a first time for everything, right?
Yeah, apparently many first times. So, but that's what I have been up to.
Well, that's entertaining.
Yeah, I'm like, why don't I just find something stupid to watch? And it's like, oh, stupid, huh? Check this out. And I'm like, wow, that might actually be too stupid.
Well, if you want to go dumber, at least plot-wise. Well, I don't know if you could call it plot.
I don't know if we can call Ikitosen having a plot.
Oh yeah,
it likes to avoid its plot as much as possible.
Well, its character had to be reasons to be there, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's for the one. It was for the plot. Second, yeah, they had to be there because reasons.
Yeah.
Now, there's one at its on the edgier side. It's called something Manu something. It goes that there's this ninja that has a special secret ability because, of course, you know.
Of course, because ninjas.
And in this world, the wealth is represented by the size of the tits.
Oh, the power in the boobs. Yes, yeah. I actually have heard of that.
So the intro is hilarious because you can see people that are rich and are having fun, and the girl has these humongous boobs dancing around, and you can see then the poor person, the poor girl, flat as a board, you know, almost starving to death on the ground.
Yeah. It's like, oh, they have the forbidden whatever technique determined by the size of your boobs. And I'm like, oh, okay. I remember seeing a bit of that. I've not watched the show, but I do remember hearing about it.
The thing is, the protagonist has the ability to steal the boobs.
Oh.
So if she fights another one that has bigger ones, she can steal them.
She can steal them. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah. And
I guess that means she also steals their wealth by proxy.
Well, she has her wealth taken sometimes from her.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just hilarious, you know, the battle of the boobs, the most literal way possible. I think I have.
Well, it sounds like at least that one like has fights in it, unlike this other one where it's like, all right, is this going to be dumb fights? Oh, the fight is over. We've cut away. We're back. You call it Battle Vixens, but there's only 2 female leads. And they don't normally fight other girls. I mean, there's actually like a lot of characters in this show, like a lot of them.
Yeah.
But out of the main cast, there's only 2 girls. I don't think the main character's mom counts. Because she doesn't fight.
Okay, how's that?
Nice! Look at those chunky space shoes.
Because I have separated the donuts a bit to make them more evident.
Yeah, so they can be pink.
Yes.
Later.
Okay.
That looks great.
But I need to move the fan because my PC is toasting me.
Yeah. Oh god. Like, you never become more aware of how much heat your screens are putting out or your computer's putting out until it's hot outside, and then you're like, wow, this is the toasty screen.
Imagine that I have to work next to the screen because I have one of those screen tablets.
Yeah, I have one too, and I didn't realize how much heat that put out until like I've got like my hand on it. I'm like, wow, that's That's a wee bit toasty there.
I have to say, my other tablet was worse in the summer, and I bought it 2008. 2008.
Oh.
So it was the cheapest one I could get, new. Because I wanted something that was new. I didn't want to have anything that was secondhand because reasons. So I got this
especially
thing.
if you're going like school or professional work, you want to make sure it's good. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was just experimenting with this because I wanted to have a hobby besides working, because I was working in Mallorca. I went there just to work. So that's the only thing I did most of the time. I just moved. So I wanted to do 3D as a hobby. And I got a tablet because I wanted to learn how to draw and stuff. And I said, I'm just going to buy a tablet. I'm just going to buy the Bulletin, get a tablet. Cheapest one that I can carry anywhere. Like the Bamboo Wacom 1. Amazing tablet.
Oh, yeah, I got the Bamboo Wacom. That was a good tablet.
Still works today.
Yep.
And the worst part is that in Mallorca, the weather is so warm and, well, humid that I was trying to draw on the tablet and I was just smearing it because of all the dust, sweat, everything.
King Greed has put out a list of more ecchi action anime series like Senran Kagura, which I haven't watched but I have heard of, High School of the Dead, which I did watch, and I didn't like it a whole lot because, not because it wasn't like sexy action, but because they were trying to make scenes of characters literally dying be sexy, and I'm like, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm being dragged down the stairs and eaten by zombies, but we better flip my skirt up so you can see my underpants. And I'm like, that's not what I want to see. He says Triage X is also good, and I believe that's pronounced Keijo?
Yeah.
Keijo?
Keijo.
Something like that.
Something.
Keijo. So, the only one of those I have seen is High School of the Dead, because it looked well animated and I wanted to check it out. People who aren't sure of that one may also have seen it as that one anime in which a girl does a backflip while fighting zombies and a dude fires a sniper round between her boobs.
Oh yeah, that's
not the way you're thinking.
Yeah,
from the side even.
How does that shit work even?
It does not. Actually, one of the funniest little things I've seen is somebody posted that a GIF of that, and somebody else was like, all right, hold on, let's pretend for a moment that I'm going to take this seriously. Let me math how this works. And they did, and they said in order for this shot to have happened with how fast a bullet travels out of a sniper rifle and the size and the distance, her boobs need to be moving faster than a butterfly's wing. And then somebody reposted the GIF, but with it really sped up. And it was really funny. So
you have to give it to the people that take the time to do the math for some stupid shit like that.
It makes it so much funnier. And you're like, oh, you saw it in slow motion, but I love silly little gags like that. Where actually there's a similar gag in it's called a show called the Demon Girl Next Door, which is really cute and funny. I actually really, really recommend it. It's got 2 seasons. The second season just ended, and I think they're gonna do a third. I hope they do a third. I want to see more. But every time the magical girls do a transformation, there's a little timer in the corner, and they're showing that it like takes thousandths of a second to transform. It's not even a full second. I think the longest it's ever been is like 0.01 seconds to transform. And I've always thought that was really funny because they put the counter in the corner every time.
Yeah, because a lot of people complain, yeah, the magical girls, when they transform, they take forever. And
yeah.
The bad guy, or bad gear, or creature is just
waits patiently.
Standing in front. And, Robot Chicken, they have a sketch about this. That was actually hilarious. Oh, speaking of hilarious things, did you watch Hero the Dance? The one I linked to you the other day.
Oh, yes, I did. The Dance Hero. That was really funny.
Yeah.
It doesn't say slay the demon! It says slay the demon! Oh, well, that's boring. What? Can't you just do that? Like, on your own? Wait, what? I mean, you could do it right here even, although it's probably not very comfortable. I guess you probably want a bed for that, but I don't really see how I can help you. And I'm just, using it.
The gag is like, you know what I am? Angry? Hello, Angry.
Yes!
I'm dead.
I hate all. It's just so funny that guy's just hanging out in the background the whole time.
Yeah.
He's like, there's that guy in that bubble. Yo. That's my father. Oh.
That happens to be my father. It's like, you're over there. Fuck you. I love the reaction. She's so blunt.
So funny. She fucking just drags him in there by his ankle and he doesn't really seem to mind.
Yeah, it sounds like there's stone rubbing on stone.
Yep. Wow, he just is that dense.
He is. And the second part, some people don't like it, but I liked it. It's just...
There's oh my gosh, with the transformation gags as well. There was actually there was people who asked at an interview for a now very popular franchise, but at the time it was just starting out. It's called Precure. And they asked the creator and the director of the show, they're like, so how come they don't get like interrupted and stuff? You know, wouldn't a bad guy just, you know, run over and like, you know, attack them? And he goes, well, as you can see during the transformation sequence, when they start, they are lifted up by a pillar of light. Well, in order for particles in light, because it's both a particle and a wave, to be able to lift up a person, it requires this amount of energy. And if you were to touch that, you would be vaporized instantly. So that is why. And I'm sitting there, and then people were like, wow, couldn't they just like grab the bad guy and transform and kill him? And he's like, well, I mean, yes, but that would be very violent. So we wouldn't want to do that.
Because then we would only have one season.
Yeah, then we'd only have one season, and this wouldn't be very wholesome. It would be very dark. I think that there's been a lot of other shows that have actually. I think Madoka Magica had a good in-between of that. It actually has some pretty interesting transformation sequences that did not involve getting any underage girls naked. Who would have thought?
But where's the fun then? Come on, where's the fun in it?
Where's the prison time? But they had like the first time you see them transform, they have like the elaborate one. But then the rest of the time you see them, it takes like an instant. So it's understood that what you saw is just like the transformation sequence slowed way down so you can see it, but it's actually happening pretty instantaneously.
I remember Sailor Moon, for example. By the way, first boobs we all saw, right?
Yep. They tried to censor them in the United States, but they really just kind of made it worse. Cousins. I don't know if they censored it where you grew up, but they tried to here and Sailor.
No, they didn't censor that. I guess it's because they thought, yeah, it's cartoons, so it's for kids. We do not even care. Big mistake.
Yeah. One of the most notorious screw-ups is that because they didn't want children seeing the gays, they took Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus, who are dating, canonically girlfriends, and they made them cousins.
Oh boy.
But they let the plot proceed as normal.
They went full Alabama.
King Greed says prison like prison school. Oh, Prison School is such a bizarre show.
Hey,
that's an ecchi too.
It's weird as hell.
very weird.
My friend Witch King loves it, and I tried to watch it. Like, okay, I like the characters in regard of the designs. I like the drawing style, but I can't get behind the plot. Seriously, it's just.
Don't you hate it when something is clearly designed to be like, oh, it's just a silly, stupid, fun thing that's like got, boobs and butts or whatever, but you're sitting there, you're like, I can't get past the plot. I'm so sorry. I know that's not the point, but I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't. It's so bad.
I'm trying to enjoy the boobs here, but you would not let me.
Every 5 seconds, somebody says something so catastrophically stupid that it takes me out of the show.
Like, okay, and I cannot watch this, not even one-handed,
oh my gosh. So
that was a comment I read some years ago on some,
that's really funny.
Some shows. Great to watch one-handed.
That's hilarious. That's also a really big insult, I guess, if you're like, oh, here's my ecchi silly haha for funsies show, and someone's like, I can't jerk off to this. It's too stupid.
Yeah, sorry, I tried my best. I just couldn't.
I did my best, man. I can't. And you're like, oh, okay.
I took some damage to the wrist for this, but I can't.
There's a strangely in a show that is straight up a hentai, to the point where only 2 episodes have been dubbed. The rest of it is in Japanese, but it's been subbed by fans. So, but you can't watch it in English, or I guess any other language. I haven't seen dubs in anything else. It's called Interspecies Reviewer.
Oh yeah, I have heard about that one.
It is the most bizarrely wholesome ecchi I've ever seen. And I never thought I'd say that.
Those words together, right?
Yeah, those words should not be in a sentence. I also should not say like, I'm oddly invested in what's happening in this story. The plot is just that it's about a bunch of people living in an adventurer world, and they all decide that that they make more money leaving reviews of brothels than they do adventuring. So that's what they decide they're gonna do. So that's what they do. Every episode they go somewhere different. They talk about the logistics of each species, so there's like a lot of world building. And then they review it.
Well, it's honest work.
Yeah. There's even an episode where they go to a place that is all about gender swapping, so they all turn into girls for the majority of that episode.
That had to be doozy.
Except for the angel. The angel did not change much, because the angel is a hermaphrodite.
Oh, you can say the word. That's unacceptable.
Yep.
Well, I mean, not.
They. Yeah. No, they're a hermaphrodite. Everybody thinks that they're a guy, even though they have attempted to explain multiple times to these guys that they're not.
Witchkin has drawn some prison school in the past. Answering to King Great. He has drawn that character, and he loves that character. But yeah, sometimes it's just, this shouldn't be like this, but it is.
You're sitting there, you're like, wow, this doesn't even feel like a guilty pleasure. This one's actually pretty good. If you're looking for that kind of anime, that's actually one I will recommend. I was actually impressed that every episode was about something different, and sometimes they ran into things they were not into and left bad reviews. I think the funniest gag is the ongoing thing about how they do not want to go to the demon brothel. Because nobody's ever had a good time there. So they keep getting... So there's like so many things where they're like, okay, well, we promised we'd go review it. And then they stand outside for like a hot minute and they're like, we could. Or we could go into the Minotaur brothel. Because everyone there has huge boobs. And they're like, let's go in there then. And they just go there instead. It's especially silly because part of that ongoing gag is that the Demon Lord, who is a gigantic Like, you think that she's normal size? No, she is a literal giant. Rather buxom lady, but not overly so, surprisingly. Is also trying to get them to go review it to change everybody's opinion on demons because she wants to be elected president. It's so silly, but it's so good. What other fun shit have I been watching that isn't adult? I've been watching what's the name of that one? I have to click over because I'm gonna forget this guy's name. The name of this show.
Okay, how's that looking for the helmet? I did some cleanup.
Let's have a look. Let's look side by side at her little hat.
Okay, let me put a front there. And a side.
Alright, let's see. I think from the side, it could be taken in a little bit, because it's supposed to be kind of like the same from every angle. Oh, excuse me. So if it's possible to like squish it in a little bit.
Okay.
Or if you think that would mess it up.
No, I can do anything that it's needed.
Okay.
There's no restriction.
Yeah, I just try to be aware because I don't know 3D as well as I do 2D of the possibility of getting to a point where it's like, oh, this would have been a lot easier if I'd known that before we got to here.
Question.
Yes.
I made it to be sort of like a human cranium. So it's a bit, you have the flat and round. So you want this to be roundish on both sides? Or you want them to be flattish?
I want it to be kind of basically the same shape as it is when you're looking at it frontwards.
Okay.
It's like she put a bucket on her head.
Yeah, that works.
Oh, King Greed says Keijo is a series where they are fighting with their butts. No joke. I actually think I know which one that is.
I know which one it is. Okay.
That one's based on like some weird sport where everybody like you stand on a foam platform and you try to like hip bump or butt bump the other person and knock them off their floaty platform.
Yeah, you have that in Dead or Alive Extreme Beach. Or Extreme Volleyball.
It's like that.
The name of or Venus Vacation, it's called now.
Yeah.
It's quite fun, actually, to play with friends.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things about that. Like, some of the mini games are fun, but like it's also kind of like a very strange game when you think about it.
It's like dating sim-ish gacha stuff.
Yeah.
And some fun games in between.
Yeah.
Okay, how's that?
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
Excellent.
Okay, let's move the visor then. Okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad that didn't like mess with anything.
No, it's fine. You know, that's why I do this by parts, so I can change things as needed.
Huzzah!
That and because I'm lazy and I don't like to commit to shapes.
Until the last possible moment.
Yeah. Okay, how's that now with the visor?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, let me show you now. So that's the front.
Can we pull the edges of her fanged face up a little so that it looks like she's smiling? Because they're down a little.
Sure thing.
So it looks more like a grimace.
Yeah. Let's do that.
She's going to be a fun character to like actually draw when she appears in the book, however briefly, because I'm going to have to convey the entirety of emotions with mouth alone. And that depends on whether or not I even want to change the expressions, because who knows, maybe the crack in the helmet isn't a mouth.
Okay, why is this image? Okay, it's not on because I chose to not.
Oopsie.
Oh well, that will make the green more unique. So I'm pulling this inwards a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like she's pulling the muscle.
Mm.
Okay.
There we go.
How's that?
Yeah. More of a, now it looks more like a smile.
Okay, let me hide the tongue for a second so you can see the full face.
Let's look at the whole thing.
Yeah. Hide that. And let's go back to smooth. Okay. How's that looking?
Yeah, that looks better. More like a jack-o'-lantern grin.
Let me fix that thing. Sorry, I interrupted your search
okay.
that you were searching for.
Yeah, I found it. The other show I've been watching is called Natsume's Book of Friends, an anime that has 6 seasons but has not been dubbed, and I'm quite surprised by that.
Oh, you know what I watched the other day? A movie that surprised me and shocked me to my core.
Oh, which one?
Basically, penguins go to Vietnam War.
Oh. Is it animated?
Yeah, it is animated. And you know what
Huh.
Club Penguin is?
Yes, I know what or what it was. Club Penguin's gone now, I believe.
Well, give me a second.
Is it just like the same animation as Club Penguin?
Okay. And you watch this, okay? I'll share it with everyone, so you guys can watch it too. It's just a couple of minutes, okay? I want you to watch it, and then I will explain things, okay? But first, I need you to get that first impression.
All right, I'm gonna come back from this and be like, what?
Most likely.
All right, let's have a look. Oh! I've seen some of this. It does look like Club Penguin.
It is.
Vad är det bästa med sommaren? Sommar på Elgiganten såklart. Hos oss hittar du sommarens hetaste deals. Välkommen till Elgiganten.
God dag. God dag. Men hur blir dagen godast? Antagligen med tärnad avokado, färsk jalapeno och picklad rödlök. Ja, så måste det vara. Prova spicy avokado hos Max, Sveriges godaste burgare.
Not Mike! Not Tom! I like that videos now have that little translucent shape. If you hover your mouse over the time bar, that shows you how far, like, the places that people have watched the most. And the part with Mike getting shot is the part that's like one of the most watched. It's rewinding to that slow motion part. And they're so cute too. Like, what? Oh my god. Not L. Okay, explain to me, what did I watch?
A masterpiece. And now you need the Skinner with the glowing eyes.
Oh my god.
Okay, so my sister explained to me the story behind all this. So this movie was made in.
Oh, your stream says starting soon on it.
Hmm?
Am I looking at the wrong screen? Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Let me refresh.
Okay, because I'm seeing the.
Okay, no, I see it. I don't know why mine just said just had the. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm sorry. Your sister explained.
Okay, you scared me there for a second. No, but yeah, my sister explained to
I was
me.
scared too. I thought it had gone offline or something. It's like,
all this. So as you can see, this movie was made long way back. It was made
Yeah.
in 1985.
Yeah.
And Club Penguin is from the year 2000.
Mhm.
So this actually predates Club Penguin. What happened was the company that owned Club Penguin, they leased the image rights of the penguins to make a movie, and the movie was this one. It's full, almost 2 hours movie. I'll link you.
So, like, were they originally, like, before Club Penguin was obviously, like, a website?
Yeah.
They were, like, mascot characters for something?
Yeah, for a company. This is the
leased it
full
out.
movie, and I honestly suggest you to watch it. Because
Oh my goodness.
you could say, okay, what did I watch there, and how the hell does this story goes from there, or where does that fit? And the story, it's good, really
Like,
good.
it's one of those things that just looking at it right now and knowing, like, we leased out the mascot designs so that a company could make a movie. Why?
And well, the thing is, there were some
Why a Vietnam War movie about penguins?
because it was an American company that wanted to make the animated movie, but the thing is, it was never released in the US.
Yeah.
And back then,
I wonder why that was.
no, the American company wanted to, but they forgot about it, so it got lost. It got lost for years. So yeah, it's
That's hilarious.
it's a movie that's actually surprisingly good. That it keeps you glued to the seat all the time.
Yeah.
Even it has some slow paced moments, but they have a reason. The cinematography, it is beautiful. Some of the environments, wonderfully drawn. Details that are put into the animation, like you saw the fight scene, the details that are put into that. Of course, it's
Really good.
not everything is super ultra high detail, but the core things are there, and
Yeah.
it's just amazing.
That is actually really amazing. Like, I know that there are several different animated movies like Watership Down and oh gosh, there's another one that's about cats. That's actually, which I think is German. It's like a German movie about cats. That's like definitely not for kids. But I think the reason that this one in particular it seems just fascinating is that the art style, like everything looks realistic except for the penguins.
Yes.
And so it's just like, and then there's just these cartoon penguins. And they're like, they don't look like they belong at all in this movie, but there they are.
Yeah.
The thumbnail alone is confounding. It's just a penguin standing there with like with a whole group of other penguins, and one of them's holding a baby, and the subtitle just says, "Mike, I got married." And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then this later became Club Penguin, a place where you couldn't say bad words or they banned you.
So
That's so funny.
yeah, It's incredible. I watched it just for laughs with my sister the other day, and we were talking about the penguins, and she's working on her own merch and stuff. She's starting her own brand of
good for her.
of stationery stuff. So she has some design with hamsters and other things. And
Oh, sorry to interrupt you just really quick. King Greed asked what the name of the cat movie was. It's called Felidae. There's also a completely unrelated one called Fritz the Cat, which is a 1972 American independent adult animated black comedy. So if you ever wanted to see cats and I think dogs going at it, there you go. But Felidae is the German movie.
Dim,
That's
incredibly sorry, I hate.
sorry.
I hate Spotify. I hate.
Oh, did it turn off the
Because
thing again?
I had this free for streaming playlist, and it switched to something else without even telling me.
Oh my god.
I hate it.
God, I hate when shit does that.
Yeah, because now YouTube was giving me shit for some songs that got in that way. And now, sadly, this conversation will be complete garbage due to the
Due to the noise removal. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. Well, that's okay. You at least it didn't cut out the part of you talking about your sister because I interrupted that to talk about Felidae.
Oh no! I just realized that it was showing the song, so it got garbage there. So, yeah. Never mind. Oh,
But yeah, so what's your sister up to?
sorry.
You said she's making cute merch. Your sister?
Yeah, she's starting her own brand of stationery items, like
Oh.
stationery as in post-its, bookmarkers, stuff like that.
Well, that sounds really cute.
Yeah, it is. And there's
If
lots
she's
of
got like
people.
a site, you should like send me a link.
When she has it,
Yeah.
I will share it. That's for sure.
I have a lot of art friends who love cute stationery, so I will be like, look what I found, you guys.
Yeah, she wants to be one of those that shows how the stationery is made or packaged for people that buy it and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's such a good idea.
Du älskar att lyssna på
So,
dina favoritartister.
yeah, we were talking about
Älskar att
random
lyssna
stuff
på
that
dig?
it's funny, so we had
Klicka
some
nu för att
brainstorming
delta i en kort undersökning.
times.
Och du kan vinna en
We were
månad
talking
av
about ideas.
underbar
Oh, the
underbar
hamster
förutom
that
musik.
eats super violent,
Spotify
violent,
Premium.
and
Det
this
betyder
and
att
that
du kan
thing.
njuta av
And
allt du behöver till
then
musik
she turns
utan
these
reklam.
ideas into
Låter det bra?
drawings.
Allt du
for
behöver
her
göra är
merch.
att klicka på annonsen
And
nu
we were
för
talking
din
about,
chans att
yeah,
vinna.
you know, that penguin that was like Rambo, you know. You have to make one that says "Born to Pingu" and stuff like that. Imagine if you have a Rambo-like T-shirt, but it's the penguins from this movie.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, or like my brother has this bearded dragon. Like it's a lizard with a beard. And we were talking about, yeah, we're gonna have the lizard at home when I'm gone, because she's gonna take over my room. And yeah, I'm gonna make merch with him. We were brainstorming, yeah, the gaming lizard. That, and imagine a bearded dragon. Let me get a picture. in
Oh, they're the
case-
little spiky boys.
Yeah. In case anyone doesn't know what's a bearded dragon, or that my pronunciation is just garbage. Bearded dragon. Yeah. One of these guys.
Oh, I love that you can buy little wings for them.
Oh yeah.
They're so cute. They look like they've got a little smile.
So yeah.
And you can walk them just like in that picture. You can put a little leash on them and take them for a walk.
One of my anatomy teachers had one of these at home. He lived in California. So
That's so cute.
the lizard was on his own at home. So sometimes he was in class and the lizard was from one side to the other. It was hilarious. But yeah, we were talking about, but then you will have to monetize the lizard and make him stream, so it's the streamer gaming lizard. And imagine the lizard with a gaming t-shirt, like one of those Razer t-shirts, mechanic keyboard, RGB everywhere, flapping his hands when he's playing.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so sometimes we talk about ideas like that for the merch.
That actually reminds me of a YouTube channel I started watching literally yesterday, actually. Oh gosh, what is the name of it? Let me click over here and have a look. It's called the Urban Rescue Ranch. And it's this guy named Ben. And he lives out in Texas. And he takes in like different kinds of animals that have been probably like abandoned by people, or like, if there's some kind of emergency, the Parks and Rec department will like call them and be like, oh, there's like, for example, like a gator. Somebody found a caiman. Can you get it? Because the other option is we gotta kill it.
Yeah,
because it's dangerous.
Get some steaks, gator steaks.
Yeah. So when stuff like that happens, he goes and he gets them, and he's in the process currently of like completely redoing the yard. But mostly, I think the first place I saw him before I even knew who he was like on Vine, and then later on TikTok, obviously, because everybody from Vine moved to TikTok. And they were always like short, little, silly clips of him just showing his animals and a lemon tree he was growing, I guess. And then that would be it. But he's got like much longer videos on YouTube, and it's very clear as he talks about them that he definitely knows what he's doing, even though he's being silly. Because he'll talk about like things like, I know that a lot of kids watch this, so I try not to talk about it too much, but ostriches, because he's taking care of like ostrich chicks, emus, and something else that is related to them that I keep forgetting the name of, but they're like big white floofy, not quite ostrich birds. And he's like, I don't, they have really high infant mortality rates, so this new batch of chicks, I'm not going to name them until like I know for sure that they're going to make it. And he says, and sometimes despite
the cassowary.
I don't think it's a cassowary.
Well, they're big.
Yeah, those are big. I know what they look. Those are like those cool ass dinosaur birds. Let me see if I can figure out what they're called.
I remember some years ago the cassowaries were famous for being mascots, or pets. And
it's called a rhea.
Ooh.
RHEA, and they're like big white ostriches.
That's also a woman's name.
Yeah. But he's got a male named Kevin who's super aggressive, and he's got like a female he calls Karen. All of his animals have like funny meme like names. Like he's got a single kangaroo, Joey, and every time he sees that, he's like, is that famous rapper DaBaby? Because that's what it's named. It's named DaBaby.
Well, if he's talking to the Joey, he could say, "How you doing?" Like Joey from Friends.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god. I actually tried to watch that. It's not available anywhere other than like one random platform, and I ain't gonna pay a buttload of money just to watch it.
Yeah, but
so
where
fuck that.
Are you going to watch Buffet the Vampire Slayer then?
Right? That's why I was like, oh, maybe I can find like that whole episode. It sounds like it'd be really funny. No. Fuck you. You can't watch it. Buy my service. No.
Yeah, there are so many services nowadays. It's becoming just awful.
It's becoming cable again. I hate it. But anyway, so like this dude definitely knows what he's talking about when he's like, oh, here's how you take care of them, and like, but like at one point the kangaroo got out. And he's like, oh god, I gotta go catch it before that one asshole neighbor of mine calls the police because she thinks I'm not allowed to own these animals. And I am. And he says, and thankfully I'm like on a good relationship with like the park rangers and some of the cops. He goes, but if they call animal control, that's going to be really hard because he's had real bad experiences with them. Because he's had a bunch of them show up to his house before and then tell him he can't have the animals he has, even though he has licenses for them. And the ones that don't have direct licenses, he is allowed to have under statutes and laws in Texas. But they'll stand there and tell him that he is not. And he'll be like, yeah, I am. And they're like, nope, we're going to take him. And he says, you are not stealing my animals. You are going to leave them right here. And we're going to get a cop here to fix all this. But like he was taking care of some kind of cats, and somebody called some kind of wildcats. Somebody called animal control, and this lady came and was like, oh, you can't have these here, they're servals. And he goes, they are not servals, they are this other kind of thing. And she's like, well, you can't have them in Texas. He's like, I absolutely can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. We're gonna get a cop here and we're gonna settle this. And he said like the whole time they were waiting for the police to arrive to sort this all out, she was sitting there looking on her phone to find out if he really could have them or not.
Well,
He's like,
at
so.
least she was trying to make sure of it. At least.
Yeah, thank God. But
Because
that's so unfortunate to like
I
hear.
have
And
seen
like,
people so entitled that they will not even check the law or anything before talking.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and like I said, he's got like that one asshole neighbor.
How
who
many
just-
times will you have experienced that at work, right? People
Right.
coming to tell you what the law is when you work at law. It's like,
And I'm like, oh, I can't tell you how many times that we got calls from people asking if there was something, legal they could do against somebody because of a thing that happened. And we were like, no. And let me tell you, when COVID happened, there were so many people who called and were like, can my boss make me wear a mask? And I'm like, no, ma'am. You can't sue him for that. He is allowed to tell you, you are to be wearing a mask. Yeah, but if I won't wear it and he fires me, can I sue him? No, ma'am, you can't. Why? Well, if you failed a drug test at work, you wouldn't be able to dispute that, would you? What? And I'm like, yeah. So, you can't. Well, I still want to talk to somebody. And I'm like, all right, I'll send you to the paralegal, but she's just going to tell you what I did. And she did. And she hung up on her. And that woman was a nurse. So that was great. Oh, it's like, oh no. She's like, the church won't make me. And I'm like, this is a doctor's office, not a church. And the governor said you had to wear the mask. But if they fire me, they can fire you, ma'am. I mean, I can't give advice. I'm not legally allowed to do that, but I can tell you that is the order that was given by the governor, ma'am. So chances are, no, you can't. You cannot sue them. It would be out before
question
you got there.
from the perspective of an outsider of the US.
Yeah. Sure.
I know that you have laws that are per state.
Yeah.
And that they have a named state law, right? And
yeah.
And then you have federal laws
Government.
that are
Yeah, we have federal.
enforced all over the country.
Yes.
Okay. So how different can be the state laws from one state to the other? Because
that really depends. Mostly overall they're about the same. There are things that we have called blue laws, which are things that are technically laws that nobody actually follows. Like, let me think about some from the state I'm in. Some of the laws in the state I'm in are you cannot teach a dog to speak English. Silly string is illegal in certain locations. And I know why that is. That's because they kept getting brought to like sporting events and sprayed in people's faces.
Yeah, and it's a fire hazard, and they are toxic.
Yeah, that's a fire hazard. So, you can't walk across a crosswalk on your hands. You can't ride a bicycle over 80 miles an hour. You cannot discharge a firearm from the freeway, but I guess if you step off onto the grass, it is okay.
Yeah, but what if
And,
you're in the air, you know?
Right? And a pickle is not a pickle unless it bounces. But those are things that nobody would actually follow. That's why they're called the blue law. You're not
Okay,
going to
but-
get... Well, I mean, you'll get arrested for discharging a firearm on the fucking highway because you brought a fucking gun on the highway and shot it. But
Pickle Rick never bounced.
yeah, but if you drop a pickle and it doesn't bounce, nobody's going to get arrested for falsifying a pickle. That's a sentence you didn't think you were going to hear today, but you did.
No, that's actually, I think that was big in Spain when I was a kid in the 90s.
Falsifying a pickle?
Falsifying food in general.
That's actually where my state got its original name, that we then got rid of later. But we used to be called the Nutmeg State because we were notorious for ripping people off and making fake nutmeg out of wood. And then selling it to dumb people who then discovered later that it was indeed wood.
Okay, you know, people are just very industrious about scamming others. Now, the thing is, a lot of companies discovered that they could make a lot of money if they just sold anything bad food as food. And of course, the nerve of these people was so big. The egos were so big, and they of course were related to nobles or people in the government.
So they didn't get in trouble.
Basically anything. They didn't get in trouble. The people that tried to get them got into serious trouble. Like a lot of
That's
people.
so stupid.
A lot of people disappeared. Because they, for example, when they uncovered the colza oil, you know, in Spain we use a lot of olive oil and sunflower seed oil for cooking. A lot. Like they don't use butter for cooking. So people were making counterfeit oils
Oh,
that are really, really toxic,
yeah.
and they sold it as the real deal. And they said, oh, if you are dying, it's because first, you're a plebeian, second, you deserve to die,
Hi, you're too weak. You were too weak for my
Third,
awesome oil.
and third, it's because you have adulterated our product. And,
It wasn't my stuff that made you sick. It was somebody else's.
and that was the key that covered their ass for a long time. When they tried to get samples, and they said, no, our stuff is pure. So that sample that you're bringing, it's a very, very poisonous thing.
Fake.
So it's not ours.
Oh my god.
So yeah,
Actually,
that's how things are.
that's
there.
great.
And
That reminds me of something I can talk about later. But
okay,
yeah, in
we'll put a clip on that. And check it later.
in no, it's okay. I just wanted to finish talking about, because you asked about like you
Please
know
go
how
ahead.
laws
Go
differ.
ahead. Yes.
No, it's okay. There are some laws that are different state to state. Most of the time it won't come up, but there are certain things like now abortion is a state's issue. So that will differ from state to state depending on where you're in. I was very pleased to discover that my home state is a protected state for abortion, so that was good to know.
I'm happy to hear that.
Apparently, we also are the first state to pass trans right protection laws, so that was good,
That's good.
especially since we have been notoriously conservative for a long time. So I was really glad to hear that we were the first state who went, you know, maybe this is fucked up. So that was good. I know fireworks are a state's issue. So you can purchase fireworks in certain states, but not in others. But if you buy it in another state and then bring it back to a state that you can't buy them in, you can still have them. I think there are a couple places where you cannot bring them over state lines, but nobody's really strict enough to come after you for it unless they go off and you set something on fire. Then they will absolutely come for you.
Because
Let's see what else.
the thing I was going to with this, if you work as a legal
Hej, Bob
advisor,
här. Är det dags att dumpa din gamla lur
you
för en
did,
ny?
you know,
Dumpa den hos oss. Vi
if
ser till
someone
att du
calls you
återvinns
from
eller
outside
älskas av
your
någon annan.
state,
Och som tack får du
Oh.
lägga
then you will
eller
have
mer
to
surf när du köper
get a
en ny.
lot of books,
Kolla vad din lur
law
är värd
books
på
saying,
helbob.se/dumpa.
where you come from? That place. Okay,
Well-
let me get the books.
Actually, if that happened, we would say, I'm sorry, we can't help you. We are not licensed to work in that state.
Oh, okay.
Because when you get when you get your license to practice law, you get it for a state. It's by state. So if you wanted to work in, let's say you were already working in New York, you'd have a New York law license. But you also want to start taking cases from New Jersey because it's right nearby. You'd have to get a license to practice law in New Jersey in order to do that.
Okay.
Of course, that didn't stop us from taking out-of-state cases on occasion. I don't understand how we did that, but we had people who got into accidents in Florida, but because they lived in Connecticut, the case got heard in Connecticut, so we did it. I don't know. It was weird.
You know, in Florida, it's legal to be beaten by an alligator. So I don't know why he's complaining.
Yeah. If you want to be entertained, just look up like United States blue laws, and there's like a site of them by state, and you can look at them. Some of them are really funny. You just keep in mind that like a blue law is a law that is on the books probably because of one incident that caused it to happen,
Oh yeah,
and it will then subsequently just not be.
Once I
even
saw
bothered
one
with.
of these articles about blue laws, and there was this law about that was illegal to cross the state line wearing a chicken as a hat.
Yes, I don't remember where that is, but I have read that one. You cannot cross the state line with a chicken wearing a chicken as a hat.
It's like, what
There's another.
happened that day?
Yeah, there's another state. I think it's Virginia. No, it's not Virginia, it's Georgia. And I know that because we were looking at them while I was at school in Georgia, where more than 5 adults in the same room not wearing shoes is considered an orgy. And that was funny as hell. There's other laws, like there's a...
Like, quick guys, someone put shoes, or we're fucked.
Yeah, one of you has to be wearing shoes so that only 4 people aren't wearing shoes, and then it's not illegal. There's some states where
Okay,
the
but
only
What if one of the guys doesn't have legs?
what if you don't have legs?
Cannot wear shoes.
Can't wear them at all. There might be grounds to claim discrimination.
Imagine there's a full-blown orgy going, but only there.
Oh, but he doesn't have legs, so you know.
But there are only 3 guys not wearing shoes. Like, damn it, we cannot call it.
No, it doesn't count. Damn. I know that there's some states where, according to the blue laws, the only legal sexual position is missionary. I know that.
I can believe that. I can believe that.
Yeah, obviously it's not enforced. Like, what you gonna call somebody?
Yeah,
I
how
do
the hell
know-
You even check that. Yeah.
Now, here's one that I learned recently, and I do know where this is. This is in Texas. And I know this one because as soon as the aforementioned overturning of Roe v. Wade happened, people were pointing out that guns have more rights in Texas than women do, and they started listing other bullshit regulations and laws. It is illegal to own more than 5 dildos in Texas. The premise for this, the premise for this, the reason for this law is that it is supposed to be part of like some like trying to get rid of like delinquent behavior or something. And the thought process behind the idiocy is oh, if you own more than that, clearly you're gonna sell them, and you can't do that. So you can't own more than 5. And I'm like, but are you really gonna check though? And I mean, nobody's going to. It's a completely unenforceable law. But you'd sooner be arrested for somebody saying, "Hey, I think they're illegally selling things out of their house," and then you'd be arrested. But the fact that that's even a thing is like, it just shows how stupid and completely nonsensical some laws are, because it's impossible to enforce. You couldn't enforce it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, what did you have to like register every dildo you buy?
What are they going to have? Registration numbers like guns? You know, you have to machine the number,
Yeah.
the serial number on the side or something.
Yeah.
Or,
You have to register. You don't
well-
have to register firearms, but you have to register the dildo.
or you're going to go with it like cattle, that you have to brand it with an iron.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Oh my god. Grand Halo Solid 4 says that would be a logistical nightmare. You are correct.
Yes, and you could make a good living out of it. You know, it's like, bring your deals here, we'll brand them for you, and we'll register them.
Brand and register them, and then you can't get arrested. Yeah.
Come on, there's still a living to be made there. You could start a
But
legal
there's
thing
no.
to get these things registered, so the government, Texas government, or
Government won't arrest you.
they could have real data of what people own, you know, and see how dangerous they are.
But you don't gotta register any. Like, you can own as many AR-15s as you want, but heaven forbid you have 6 dildos.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, I need you to look at the screen for a second, please.
Oh yes. Oh, you made little cute tape for the back of it. That's adorable.
Yeah, it's a bit on the thick side, just so it's visible in the print. But
Yeah, so when it gets printed out, you can see it. Oh, that's so cute. I really like that. I admit I wasn't entirely sure how it would look at first. And I was like, oh, maybe it would be better to just have it be like a big chunky star. But I actually really like that.
well, we
I
could try
love that.
both things.
It
You
looks
know.
so good. Oh no, I like this. I've decided.
Okay, how's that angle for the stars? Maybe they need to go straighter.
Yeah, maybe have them lifted up a little bit. I imagine that they would be kind of heavy, so they might be flopping a bit. But having them tilt up a little bit more would probably be good.
Sure thing. Give me a second. I need to enable this. Yeah, let's see. Everything else is disabled. Yes. Now I unhide. Okay, so yeah, let's make them. How's that?
Yeah.
Well, look at on the one on the right.
Well, the one that isn't floating.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's leaning over just a little bit because it's probably heavy, but it's not so much so that it's dragging down the antennas. Yeah. I like
And
that.
I'll
That looks
fix the
good.
antenna in a second.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna move it backwards a bit. Yeah, okay. And move it there so it's straighter overall. Just to correct the antenna and push it backwards. Okay.
All right, cool.
Okay, let's see. First. Mirror well. This. Okay, now I grab the antenna. And take it back. Come on. There we go. Let's one.
Here we go.
Okay. I'm here for this. Well, and there we are.
Huzzah!
Okay.
There we go.
So what else? What else are we changing?
Let's see. I don't think that there's much else, but I will look at them side by side.
Or if there's anything that you want to add to the design or change, we are in a good moment to do it.
I don't think we need to change anything. I think that her little gun needs to be bigger.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm looking at the design.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think the gun is still in the rough sketch phase.
Yeah, it is. I still need to do a proper pass on it. But it's. But it's
Other than that,
perfectly
I think the only other thing that I see that's off is just the fingers being kind of little cylinders.
Oh yeah, fingers will be
Yeah.
shaped when they are posed.
Yeah, so that's fine. Yeah, but other than the little the gun, I think that the rest of her body is good.
Okay, how's that for the gun? Should be bigger, smaller?
Yeah, that looks about to be the right size.
Alright. The belt star.
It's okay. Let's see. A belt. I think I'd like the belt to be a bit wider, like height wise, like a wider.
The star or the belt?
The belt itself, sorry, not the star.
Okay.
Would be a bit wider belt. I'm trying to think of how to describe it without being like, oh, like wider off her body. No, like wider as in like tall. Wider as in height.
No problem. Yeah.
So hard to explain things sometimes. Goodness gracious me.
Oh well. We understand each other.
Mhm.
That's why I say you are so easygoing. Because, it's easy to communicate with you.
Thank goodness.
Okay, how's that?
Yeah. Yeah, that looks right.
Or you want it to be as wide or tall as the star?
No, I did want the star sticking off of it a little bit,
Alright.
like a big fancy buckle. But I did want the belt to be a bit bigger.
So
Here we go.
Let's see, the star is in the middle. So you want the star to be integrated like this? Or you want it
Yeah.
to...
It can be integrated like that. That's basically how I drew it.
Okay.
And that would probably be the best way to keep it from like potentially breaking off when it's printed too. We don't want any little edges getting caught and popped off into the abyss.
And they're lost forever.
Goodbye. She had a belt. It is gone now.
Yeah, $20, right? Come on, she's got to make a living.
Oopsie.
Okay, I need to... Let's see, I need to add some...
Oh, King Greed wants to know if I pulled Kuki in Genshin. Yes, I did. I also got Ito, and I am so happy my boy came home. I actually have a really funny story about that. I'd actually gotten Kuki a couple of times, and I was telling my friend about it because she hadn't gotten him yet, and she jokingly said, like, oh, we should go to the Kamisato estate and then pull for Ito, because that's where my friend got him, and that's where I got him. And I went, okay, sure. And I went to their household, and she's like, you have to stand behind Ayato's desk so you can get his bro to come home. And I'm like, okay. And we're just joking around, and then I did a draw, and boom, Ito. And I was like, oh, holy shit. And she goes, oh, another one. I'm like, this is the third time that worked. She goes, it's the third time it's worked. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know that's just a coincidence, but that's funny as hell.
So the star right now, it's a bit edgy. Because, likes to listen to My Chemical Romance, be in the darkness of her room and stuff like that.
MCR is actually super good.
Yeah,
It's so
it
underrated.
is.
Anyway,
It is. I really like My Chemical Romance. Okay, so the star is a bit edgy. So, what do you think I make it a bit rounder, like this?
like those ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see how that looks. That might be good.
So I'm gonna take it into Blender because I know how to do this in Blender, but in ZBrush I know it can be done, but I can't remember how.
And I barely know how to do it in Blender. Hoo-ha! That's okay. I'm figuring it out.
Hey, if you want to ask questions about Blender, you can hit me up.
Oh, I'm sure I will have more when I get back to working on that after I'm done catching up with all the other things I need to do. I'll be like, okay, I'm trying to do this. How can I do that? And I know that you'll give me good feedback.
And also, yeah, well, about that.
Well, you probably should have done this like 10 steps ago. And I'd be like, oh, well,
Like-
shit.
Yeah, did you sacrifice the goat in the beginning?
Did you remember?
Smearing all the blood on the PC stuff.
No. I
Yeah,
forgot.
we're gonna have a problem there, but we can fix it. We can fix it.
I'm gonna have to start over again, but don't worry. You're like, oh, okay.
Well, starting over, it's one of the best ways to learn.
That's true, but it's also so disheartening when you're like, I think I got it, and then it just, for some reason, just falls apart, and you're like, oh, well, I guess I'll try again.
Okay, that's
It's gonna be okay.
let's add a beba. Really small. About that. And let's add a modifier. Okay, I need to see.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a command that will help you. So if you need to see just one thing that we're working, like you say, my scene is full of stuff, and I just want to show the star. You can do it in two different ways. You can do Shift H, and you will hide everything but.
But the things you've selected. Ooh,
Okay.
continue.
If you undo it, you go back.
Ah.
Or
Okay.
you
Does
can.
Shift H bring it back too?
No. It's
Oh.
Alt H.
Alt H brings
Alt.
it back.
Okay, but if you go to your numpad, okay, your numerical keyboard, and the key that it's just next to the numblock key, okay, it's a bar. It's a right-leaning bar. Or I don't know how you want to call it.
Oh, the little slash.
Because if you press it, you just focus on that one. If you press it again, you can see everything.
Oh, that's way easier.
Yeah, it's useful when you have a lot of things in the same scene, and you just want to see that exact thing for a second. And for example, let's say that, oh yeah, I lost my way. I don't know where that part is, or like, oh boy, I'm just gonna select the star. It's like, oh no, I don't know where is it. I cannot see anything on my screen. If you press period in the numpad, it will get
Oh,
you
you'll go right back.
there. It will get you to the selected mesh.
Oh, that's so much better.
Oh yeah, it's really useful. Like in this case, I just want to see the star for a second because I want to make it a bit puffier. So I'm going to move this outside. And this side, yeah, why not? Let's make it puffier too. And see.
It's like a chunky marshmallow.
I'm scaling up. Okay.
Hmm.
Let's shade smooth. How's that?
Oh, looks good. Yeah.
Or
I
we
like
could
this.
make it the other way. Make it like this, so it's a double star. Or bigger,
Oh my goodness.
so it's a prawn star or something.
That might be too big.
Okay, so something about that it's roundish.
Yeah. That looks good. And then it'll sit solidly in her belt too.
Okay, and now we export it back to ZBrush. This is a great add-on that I use. It just allows me to jump back and forth between ZBrush and Blender seamlessly. And there she is, the new star. Look at that one.
Nice.
Maybe it needs to be a touch bigger.
Maybe
Or-
just a tiny bit. Yeah.
And a bit higher, so it's like this.
Yeah, right there. I tried to avoid tangents with the lines of objects.
Yeah.
It's been grilled into me by my teacher in college. He's like, once I show you tangents, you will always see them now. And I'm like, curse you.
Well, going
He's
on
like,
a tangent now, you have to post your socials.
I do. Oh my goodness. Sorry for the yawn.
Don't worry, I know I'm not interesting, but you know.
Vad är det bästa med sommaren? Sommar är på Elgiganten såklart. Och så sitter du sommarens hetaste dis.
It's not like I'm boring you or anything. Yeah. No, but yeah, post your socials there because people need to see what you do.
Alright, give me a second.
And you're gonna tell what are you going to stream later today.
I'm probably going to stream Genshin since the Spiral Abyss got reset, so I can go do those challenges without it being
Sounds
a
fun.
nuisance. Because last time, the only thing that was left was floor 12, and so I just spent a few minutes trying to see if I could do it, and then getting my butt handed to me and going like, "Oh, that's not happening tonight." So then I just wandered around and collected things. I may wander around and collect things as well. I need to get many bugs to upgrade Ito. Here we go. There's all my stuff.
Just so you guys know that Alex was the artist that created this concept. You know,
Yay!
I haven't shown the concept in a while. I should do it more often. No, she's really talented and she can do really cool stuff.
Oh, thank you. I am open for commission, so
So there you have it.
which
guys.
actually should be the top pinned thing on my Twitter too. So if you're interested,
Okay, how about you give the guys in the stream a discount of 50 cents? Okay? You heard it here, boys. You have a 50 cents discount.
oh my goodness, 50 cents.
Not including
That's
taxes.
crazy.
You know, not including taxes.
Oh, I wish I knew how to include taxes so that PayPal wouldn't take a snippet of the money, but it doesn't take much, so whatever.
Give them time. They will take everything.
Yeah.
So what do you say about we give this little star here
A
a bit
similar
of,
treatment.
yeah, not so harsh, just a bit rounder in the
It's a little puffy. Yeah, okay. Let's see how that looks.
Give it a second. Yes, and just gonna make a polygroup just in case. Take it to Blender. Sometimes it takes a bit of time because it goes through each and every model in the scene. It's like, not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one. Okay,
Nope,
that
nope. Yes.
one. Okay, so
Just left there with your head in your hands going, come on, man.
okay. So now we have it here. And let's say that we have just a middle couple. You know, actually, not bad.
Yeah, it's like a little sticker.
Even with the faceted faces.
Well, it reminds me of like those little foam stickers that they used to have. I don't think that they have them anymore, but they'd have like a cartoon character on them and just a little bit of foam inside, so they'd be like a little bit of a bubble. That's what that reminds me of.
Okay. I'm making it just a bit rounder. Not much like the other. Just a touch.
Oh my goodness, I've been so forgetful lately. One of my reminders about my laundry just popped up. It's like, remember, you need to sort your laundry.
Oops.
I would have sorted it all before this even started, except that before I went to take my mom to PT, I threw all my clothes in the washer, tossed in the soap, never turned it on. So I came home and I was like, okay, let's move those to the dry.
You know,
Well,
couple things. First, how is your mom doing? Is she doing okay?
yeah, she's doing better. She's still not happy, but much in the way when a person isn't feeling well, they're unhappy, even if they're feeling better than they did before. So, but watching the PT get done for this particular ailment is strangely amusing, because since it's a balance thing, what the guy does is he basically takes the patient and like twists and tilts them in specific ways to get their body to like shake itself back to normal. But because it has to be done like quickly, to like kind of like in a flicking sort of motion, it almost looks like he's like slamming the patient down on the table.
So she's dancing, you know.
So he'll be like, all right, sitting there, like, okay. He's like, okay, I got your head, and we're gonna turn you to the left and down. And so he'll just be like, and then you hear like a bang, and I'm like, holy! Except that's his hand hitting the table, not her. But I stared for a minute, and I started laughing, and he goes, funny, and I'm like, I know you didn't do it, but it looked almost like you body slammed her from over here. It's like, don't worry, I'll fix you. And he's like, hey, now, I didn't do that. I'm like, I know you didn't do that. He's like, I teach my students all the time that that's not what you do. You don't throw your patient. The only thing hitting the table should be your hand. And I'm like, I believe you. You don't have to convince me.
You have to convince the jury, not me.
I'm pretty sure that if you really had thrown her, my mom would have protested quite loudly. You know, she'd have gone, ow.
She will have said, it's on, motherfucker. And goes into fight mode.
Yeah, she'd have shouted, and she probably would have cried. But like, ow, why did you throw me? That really hurt.
I thought you loved me. Or
I
something.
thought that you were gonna make me better. Don't throw me into the table, oh my god. What am I, the main character of Vicky Tosen in episode 1? That's how her first fight ends, by the way. She gets thrown across the fucking room. It's like 2 seconds. It's so funny. He's like, I will defeat you. And she's like, that'll be really cool. Yeah, let's fight. And he's like, all right, you kick me. And she's like, you like a masochist or something weird? Because I don't like that.
Something like that.
And he's like, no, just fucking kick me. So she does, and it does nothing. So he just grabs her by the ankle, throws her in the air, and then punches her in the stomach hard enough that she goes flying across the pavement and into a fucking wall. And then she's like in a heap on the ground. It took me by surprise. I'm like, damn. And then it was over, and I was like, oh, well, that was short. And then, of course, because she's the super special, he goes in, like, later when he's inside, he's like, all of a sudden, my ribs hurt so badly that I can't move my knees anymore, and I have fallen onto the ground. How could this be so? And I'm like, okay. How very anime of you.
Hej! Hail Halebop här.
Okay.
Är det dags att dumpa din gamla
Reset
lur för en
this.
ny?
Reset.
Dumpa den hos oss. Vi
Let's
ser till
work
att den
Bye bye.
återvinns
on
eller
the gun.
älskas av någon annan. Och som tack får du lägre månadskostnad
It's time for
eller mer
the
surf när du
pew-pew.
köper en ny. Kolla vad din lur är värd på halebop.se/dumpa.
Blender. And let's remake. And the other thing that I was going to say, you know that you actually are missing a chance there with the laundry, because you could do a laundry stream, you know. That one's sexy folding, you know, folding my pants.
No way! I don't need people
ASMR.
seeing my mentionables. Look, Desart. We are not at that level of relation, me and my stream, for that to be a thing. I mean, if it was like t-shirts and people cared, I'd be like, I'll fucking fold t-shirts, sure, why not? I got this one from T-Turtle, and this one is also from T-Turtle. Oh, Desart just got here, and now she's like, what?
Yeah, Alex is talking about her next stream when she's going to show all her unmentionables.
No! What happened is that earlier I was joking about how forgetful I have been today, and that before I went to take my mom to her PT, I threw all my clothes in the laundry and was like, awesome, so these will be done and ready for the dryer when I get home. I, threw in all the clothes, threw in the detergent, shut the lid, and didn't turn it on, and didn't realize that till I got home and opened it and went, oh. That's why he's joking with me now and being like, oh, if you show off these to your fans, like, absolutely not. This is not that kind of stream.
I mean, no one's stopping you, you know.
Desarin says, I see, so all those works of art that you thought were too gory to show, right? I mean, the unmentionables. Well, I mean, right now, I am working on a piece of art that I probably couldn't stream. Not because it's gory, but it's sort of the opposite reason. It's gonna be on my other Twitter. The one I didn't like.
And that's the one that you have to check.
Desarin just says very well. There's something kind of ominous about that response. Very well. I'll wait. I can wait. I have time. Oh my goodness. No, it's okay. You don't need to apologize. I thought it was funny. You did miss us talking about my well, not discovery, I knew it existed, but my finally watching Ikki Tousen, a fighting ecchi series that has not a whole lot of actually sexy ecchi and fights that last about 2 seconds and then are resolved off screen, because that's where we are. Let's see. What other fun things might you have missed? Oh, one more thing about that show. I know I keep saying one more thing and that's it. But if for no other reason, it is worth watching because it has one of those we were just figuring out how dubs work kind of thing. Oh, hold on a second. Somebody needs to talk to me. One moment.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Let's see. Connected only, smooth, GX. No, it's GY. So I'm grabbing it on the Y axis, not the X axis. Yes. Let's add a cylinder. Okay, cylinder.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was asked if I needed anything from the grocery store. Desarin says, also, don't know if anybody here celebrates it, but happy Canada Day.
Yes, it's true. Happy Canada Day.
Yay. But yes, what I was mentioning, and something that actually Greed responded to, or Greed says, did you look at all 4 seasons of Iquitos? And the answer is, not as of yet, no. I've only seen most of season 1. The dub is one of those, like, oh, it's clearly a kind of early dub. So, but it has like actors that I have absolutely heard in other things. Like I've heard Steve Bloom in there. I've heard, oh god, I forgot his name. He's on Critical Role, and he played he's played everyone. Holy shit.
Matthew Mercer?
No, not Matthew Mercer. One of the other guys. He played he's the one who played the elf rogue in the first game they played. I'm so bad with names, I have forgotten. Hold on, I'll figure it out. Who was he?
Okay, I'm making a couple changes in the gun. I'm making the barrel a bit thicker, so it's gonna be easier to print. But not that.
Okay.
And I'm going to add some supports on the rings.
Liam O'Brien, that's who it is. There we go.
Because sadly, I don't have the technology to
make
things
float.
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly.
One day.
It can probably be a solid donut instead of a ring. I'm sure that's how they did it for toys.
Yeah, in most toys it was like that.
Yeah. To answer Desarin, it is not the anime where people fight on water with their butts. That's different. Ikitosen is like a early 2000s show. Oh god. Okay, how do I quickly and as unconfusingly as possible explain the premise? I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm gonna try. Alright, the premise is...
Girls try to fight, but the boobs and asses get on the way.
Strangely enough, no. The premise is that, well, unless you know the entirety of the Legend of the Three Kings myth from China, it's not going to make a whole lot of sense. All right, so basically, people in this world are reincarnations of Chinese warriors and kings from mythology, specifically the Legend of the Three Kingdoms. And in order to, well, actually not even quite that, is it? But they all have these sacred beads they wear on their ears that sort of give them the power of the people. It just symbolizes who they are, I guess. I have not met a little girl who's Nobunaga yet. No. I don't think Nobunaga is in here because he's Japanese. Yeah. These are all specifically people from the Chinese myth of the Three Kingdoms. Our main character. No, it's okay. I understand. It's a very confusing show, and they're all high school students, and they all love to fight, and they all do battle against each other to sort of recreate the war that the myth is based on. But they're also trying to avoid their fate because some of them are fated to die. Sort of. But really, the entire point is to have people fight so that you can see their butts. Except that the fights don't last very long, because I guess they didn't want to animate them. So you'll end up with a fight that gets resolved off screen, and then you just see somebody in like a heap. They animate the parts where they, like, I don't know, get punched so hard their shirt rips open, but that's kind of it. Kanu. I forgot who Kanu is. Let me remember who Kanu is. Oh, that's who Kanu is. Yes.
Somnade på Elgiganten såklart. Hos oss hittar du
Kanu is from a different school, and in season 1, she appears in 2 episodes, once in the background and once as a fighter. She kicks somebody's ass and she's gone. I do like her, though, from what I've seen. She's really badass. She beat everybody she went up against. She is undefeated. She just forfeited because she enjoyed her fight and was like, fuck it, I don't give a shit about this tournament. Bye.
What was the name of the girl that had a snake?
Snake?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a character with a snake.
She used a snake as her bikini bottom.
Is that in that show? That's a character in the show. I have not met her yet.
She's
Me
sort
type
of
in
like an elf.
snake. Oh, everybody in this show's human.
Oh, okay.
It does seem that there is an episode in which they go to an abandoned island and she has to fight a snake. There is a character with green hair. I think that's Ryoko. Or Roko. Something like that. Who's the one with the green hair? Ryokufu? Is that who it is? No. Ryokufu's that guy. No. Everybody's name confounds me. Okay, yeah, that's Ryofu. Ryofu is the one with the green hair. Zarin says, one of these days I need to get some folks together to watch an anime that they only dubbed half of called MAR. Also, there's supposed to be an umlaut over the A. So I guess mare? Maybe that's how that would be said. I don't remember how umlauts are supposed to be pronounced. Ah, Dazarn says that is the correct pronunciation. Yes! It is mare.
Maybe I'm thinking about another anime.
I know that
Okay,
Ninja
okay,
Scroll has a woman who's
Yeah.
got snakes living in her
I was-
unmentionable.
Yeah, no, I was wrong. I was thinking about one called Queen's Blade.
Oh, Queen's Blade. Queen's Blade's got some characters for sure. Oh boy, howdy, does it have characters who do things.
'Cause I always confuse Ikitosen with Queen's Blade.
You know, that's not an unfair assessment, really. Their premises are very similar, which is, do you want to watch hot girls fight things and possibly see butts? That's the one that has that bunny girl who's got a bikini made of hands. They're being held on by, like, hope and tape.
Yeah, Queen's Blade is the one with a girl with a snake that has elf ears.
Oh my god.
Echidna, that's her name.
The name of the anime is, it's called Mare, but it means Marchen Awakens Romance. Oh, King Greed says that's part of the same show, so maybe that's a spin-off or a movie.
I have no idea.
I don't know. There are so many spin-offs of this thing. It's so infamous. I can't believe it took me this long to sit down, watch it, and be like, wow, that is certainly a thing I witnessed.
Yeah.
It is certainly a show to witness.
It is something, isn't it?
Yeah. When you watch it, you'll be like, I have no idea what the hell I just watched. As stated before, this is a show in which a butt gets a reaction shot. You know, those for people who just got here, who are like, "What are you talking about?" It's, you know how in an anime, like in DBZ, like somebody gets like punched and then it shows everybody's face and they're all going, "Oh."
Very important stuff. You know.
Yeah. In Ikito-sen, one of those facial reactions is a butt. Not saying that the butt has facial expressions, because it does not. But Dezarin says for Mare, the short gist is a guy gets isekai'd to a world known as Mare Heaven to save it, and everybody there are basically actual fairy tale characters and use magic weapons called arms. That sounds vaguely familiar.
And vaguely so close to most of animes. It's
Oh, there are so many isekais. Oh my god. There are actually so many that I just avoid watching them now unless their premise is really interesting. But if it's just like, oh, so-and-so used to be a nerd and then they ended up in this, I'm like, nope. But then every once in a while something will come along like, so I'm a spider, so what? And I'm like, that looks a little interesting. Because that one's not a case of like, oh, I'm a genius. It's just like, she got really lucky and got reincarnated as a spider. In this case, she is the lucky one.
You know,
King Greed says too much isekai. I agree, too much isekai.
yeah, well, it was the meme of the years.
Yeah, well, it's because things like, oh god, I forgot the name of it. There's a very popular one. I keep wanting to call it Trapped in Another World with my cell phone, but that's not it. That's a different one. ReZero, that's what it is. ReZero's good. But that's because it makes good use of its premise. Oh my god, the Executioner and Her Way of Life is also good. That one's like a reverse isekai. You're in the world that they get isekai'd to already. And the premise is that every time, because it happens a lot, a human from our world ends up there, it's really bad for them. So over the years, the church has trained executioners to find and kill the people from our world, because every time a person from the normal world ends up in this fantasy land, they gain a crazy magical power, as is the premise in most isekais. And when that happens, it fucks everything up, so they're like, not today!
Isn't that a bit like the reincarnation for the Egyptians? That
Sort of?
they believe in the
Yeah.
reincarnation that they will have in the next life, or whenever. Or even if they came back, that they will gain like godlike powers.
Something
Or-
like that,
or
yeah.
am I wrong?
I believe that the Egyptian view of the afterlife, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, is that you kind of continued living after death. Your body had to be prepared so that you could live in your tomb forever with all your stuff. But only if your soul got weighed and was found to be pure and not bad. If it was bad, it would just get eaten by the half crocodile, half hippo that was just waiting in the wings for Anubis to judge you unworthy.
You are unworthy and tasteless. Imagine
Hopefully you will be good with ketchup.
that. Imagine
You know,
if
that'd be an interesting
They tell
for
you
a show.
where they're eating it. You know, buddy, you taste horrible. So many carbs.
See, now that would be an interesting premise for a show of like, oh, our main character died and was judged unworthy by Anubis,
Isn't
but
that,
because they taste bad,
isn't that
the
the Moon Knight show?
Croco Hippo won't eat them.
I think the Moon Knight show was about that.
Desarin is going to send me something. Desarin says the main character gets a legendary weapon that is a hammer with a ball on a chain. That sounds like a kid's game. That's funny. And the ball is sentient and a bit of a self-centered, pompous prick. Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
All right, let's have a look at this. Oh, that's what it looks like. Oh, look at this shonen anime protagonist. And that is absolutely the children's toy I was thinking of. Oh, the ball has a face, a big long Pinocchio nose, and a mustache.
Shit's moving. Let's make this rounder.
Desarin says the weapon's name is Bopo and keeps calling the main protagonist his servant. That's pretty ballsy for something that doesn't have legs.
But you know, it doesn't count in an orgy.
Yes, it won't count in an orgy. But only if you're in Georgia. But only if you don't have legs. Oh my god.
You know, you have to think about what made people go to the extreme of make those laws. What the hell happened that day?
Yeah, I know that there's one out in the Midwest that's like you can't throw octopi onto an ice rink. And I know that that is because they had a hockey game in which their rival's mascot was an octopus. So a bunch of people brought dead octopi and threw them onto the rink. And there were so many, they had to delay the game to fucking clean up the mess.
Yes.
Desarin says that the show that she suggested is one of those journeys where they have to learn to work together because that's the only way they can make their anime powers work. Quite literally the power of friendship.
Isn't that Captain Planet?
Protect the environment!
Okay, let's change the map cap.
I do like witches, yes. You are correct, Desarin. There goes the loudest flipping motorcycle.
Okay, how's that looking for the gun?
Yeah! Let's see. You know, it probably would have been really helpful if I had drawn the gun by itself.
Well, we
Just
can
realized.
we can change it any way that you need.
Oh yeah, I was just looking at it going, you know, it probably would have been a lot easier on you. Let's see. Can we tilt the handle a little bit?
Sure.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of how to describe the angle. If we can tilt it so it's pointing back towards the end of the gun.
Give me a second. Okay. Let's put that there, and
I guess I'd be tilting the top forward and scooting it back. That is the best way one can explain in 3 dimensions.
well, you know that thingy that no, that way, the other way. You idiot.
Oh, not your right, the other right. Shit. Yeah, that direction.
Okay. What else?
I think that's pretty much what it looks like. Let's
I
see.
mean, we can give it a chain gun feed, stuff like that. You know.
Oh my god, that'd be funny as shit. Let's see. Let's look at the pew pew gun.
You know, imagine if it was like a minigun the size of a revolver.
Beep 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 beep. All right. Let's see. Can we, instead of having the handle shaped like a banana, could we have it be more like square?
Sure.
Okay. So instead of being round, have it be like flat.
No, it is actually easier to just do this.
To just make another one.
Yeah. It takes.
Oh, neat. That's a cool design, Zarn. Zarn sent me a picture of one of the female leads named Dorothy. She does have a dog named Toto.
Dorothy the Explorer. Come on, for the Latin community, Dora the Explorer was the equivalent to Lara Croft.
Hopefully, in premise only.
You know it's not. You know it's not.
I know it's not, and I wish I didn't.
Okay.
Big bad.
I'm gonna make it so it's a bit thinner there.
Yeah.
And oh,
Basically like the handle of an actual firearm.
okay, it's sort of there. I'm gonna hide this part for now.
Boop.
Let's go back to solid. Now let's.
Let's make it skinny.
And the magic of the subdivision surface.
Vad är en sommar utan glass?
Now I can do
Ingen
this.
sommar alls. Njut av vår svalkande nyhet. Sunday passionsfrukt toppad med marängkross för endast 20 kronor. Beställ och betala i McDonalds-appen.
Okay, I need to see
Med
through
Surf
it.
från Vimla kan du lägga hela onlinevärlden för dina fötter. Just nu teckna ett abonnemang för 25 spänn i månaden. Samtal och mess ingår. Signa upp på vimla.se. Årets operatör igen.
Bonk, bonk. Okay, and now let's see. I need some bevels. Here.
Okay, Dezarin, you have a good rest of your day.
Take care.
Her break's over. She has to go back.
Okay.
Boo. Work sucks. Well, work you don't like doing sucks.
It does. It does.
Actually, we have a holiday here on Monday. It's the 4th of July.
Oh yeah, it's America's birthday. So, have you purchased your fireworks so you can blow up a piece of your country to celebrate it?
No, but we may go to the show. Well, if my mom's feeling up to it. I'm not gonna make her go if she's not feeling well.
Yeah, if she's not feeling that American, yeah, I can understand.
You can see some of the fireworks from our house.
Okay, let's add a bit of a curve here. Okay, this is a bit too thick.
Yeah.
Take it back. But this is the beauty of working this way, that I can change anything whenever I want. Okay. How's that looking?
Better. Can we move the handle so that it's between the back bubble and the front bubble?
So here.
Yes.
And I'm gonna add a cut here. Pull this back. So it fills that gap. Okay, it's a bit on the chunky side.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it needs to be skinnier. It's not gonna fit in her hand.
Are you polygon shaving my gun?
Yes. When the
Okay.
handle's too big.
Oh, you cannot handle my gun. Oh.
She can't hold it in her hands. It's too big.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be overall smaller, though. I think
Yeah,
it's
sure.
a bit too. That looks right. Can I see it with her hand for like comparison?
Sure. Just give me a second. I can show you the
Of course.
previous one. Previous one.
Okay.
It's this one.
Oh, okay.
So it's a bit shorter.
Okay, then yeah, that looks a lot better. I think that'll work.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. I can show you.
It's so shiny.
Oh yeah. It's the matte cap I have.
I know, I like it.
Oh, you're gonna love this one.
Oh my gosh. Cell shaded.
Yeah, this one it's completely normal. Because of the normals.
Very sci-fi.
Well, when you learn about texturing, you'll get this joke. And this is Toy Story 1.
It really does look like Toy Story 1. Oh god.
Wait, it gets better.
Oh, it's made out of epileptic errors.
And in vertical now.
That's what it looks like in a game when an item doesn't load.
Okay, so I'm just gonna take all this. But first save. I'm going to Shift D, duplicate, then move it to a new collection called Gubin? Yeah, let's call it
Bing.
Gubin.
I've just done that sometimes, and I'm like, I meant to type that word, but no one's ever gonna see it but me, so it's just gonna be this misspelled mess over there.
So I'm just gonna... Yes, that, exactly. And the boo-boo. Yeah, it's a boo-boo. Okay, I'm gonna join all of them. Okay, it seems like I need to apply all the... Well, yeah, I need to apply the money first. Just 1 second. Apply. 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 Apply.
Oh, just FYI, then, like about 10 minutes, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah,
I have to figure out what to do about food.
It's cool. Once I have the gun in ZBrush, we can call it here.
Okay. Sounds good.
Save. Now I can take everything. Control join. Yes. I'm gonna call you Gun 2. And now I can take it back. Let's give it a second. again to it's here. The fuck? Okay, why are you doing this?
Hej, jag skulle vilja ha en
Seabrush,
bil
you are
till Ikea,
going.
tack.
Ikea, okej. Var hämtar vi dig?
Gallerian.
Gallerian? Men då är det ju vid Ikea.
Nej, alltså jag ska från Gallerian.
Okay, Seabrush doesn't want to work now.
Ikea.
Well, it's in the program now.
Alltså,
Yeah,
alla
it,
vill bara
it's a
komma
good
till
place to
Ikea,
go because it's turned into
Nu är
that wonky
Ikea
stuff.
närmare dig än
Okay,
någonsin.
let's say
Välkommen till vårt nya varuhus i Gallerian.
yes. Okay. For some reason. Control. I apply all transforms. Yes. Export. Yeah. Why?
Hello?
Okay.
It's like we applied a rubber to it, and now it's just kind of bouncing.
Can't steer. Okay.
We'll figure it out next time.
Yeah, I can fix it. It's just a matter of restarting Cerberus. It's just that.
Yeah.
So it's a
She,
good point
she
to call.
looks... Yeah, she looks good to me. Can probably start posing her next time if we want.
Yes, that's what I was thinking about. That now we have all the details in place. We finally can post her.
Yay!
Okay, well,
After making you revise it so many times.
actually, no. I have gone through more. I'll show you in a second. Where's it? That one version.
I'm not going to ask for specifics because I know you don't badmouth customers, obviously. But I bet that there probably been people in the past who have asked for very many revisions.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh boy.
No, actually, I have a percentage of revisions that I allow.
Ah, and if you've revised X amount of times, yeah.
Yeah, like for example, this model is my own, and I have done so many things to her, so many changes here, there, the muscles here, there, there.
She's looking really good.
Thank you. Let's show the base, and the base still needs some going through because the base originally was like 5 times this size. So it was big. But I'm liking her.
Yeah, she's looking really good so far. She
Yes.
looks excellent.
Chun-Li, it's a character I have tried for as long as I have been doing 3D. That is 12 years. So, yeah. I've tried her so many times I failed it. Yeah.
It's the test of your skills is the Chun-Li test.
No, it was more about test of willpower to get it done properly. But okay, this is a good point to go at. So, thank you everybody for joining us today.
Yes.
And thank you, Alex, for being wonderful and for existing. You know, because she's real.
Oh, thank you.
It's not like I'm using some software to generate voices or stuff like that. No,
That you know of.
it's a real person. And I'll see you guys probably Monday. I'll try to go back to painting minis because last Monday I painted some minis. They look decent. So I'll get back to doing some more minis on Monday, and we'll see from there.
Alright, go. I'll toss my socials in there one more time.
And yes, you have to post your socials because in a couple hours she's going to be streaming Genshin
Yes,
Impact.
and I will be streaming Genshin Impact here. And since I was good, I held all my dailies and all my resins. I'm gonna go do all my dailies. I'm gonna do the weekly bosses, and then I'm gonna see who I can get stuff for and maybe empower them a bit before I go into the Spiral Abyss and slam my head against some very difficult monsters for a while.
Nice. Okay, well, take care, everyone, and see you soon.
Bye bye, everybody!